How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Bill, and in today's video, as you might have guessed if you've been watching the past couple of videos, it is time to finish up the BodyGuard Bumpers installations on the 2021 Broncos. So far, we've gotten the rock sliders on. We've got the rear bumper on. We've got the spare tire delete on. Which means the only thing we have left now is to get that front bumper on there. It is a winch bumper, so we are going to be installing a Warn winch as well. And that is going to be replacing the modular bumper. Now that's kind of disappointing to me because I really like this bumper. And I was like, oh, well, this is going to be a great bumper. I'll be able to add things to it, no problem. You know, a couple of lighting companies are coming out with kits to do, some lights in there. And I was just waiting for the Ford accessory to come out that allows you to mount the winch right there to that. But Ford's released that now, and it is ridiculously priced. And it does not even look that good. It does not look nearly as good as the prototypes they were sending and showing off, like this is what it's going to look like. So luckily though, we're working with BodyGuard here. They have a new bumper out. I think it looks awesome. It does allow us to mount the winch, so we'll be good to go. We'll have everything we need. And hopefully it's going to look awesome. So first things first, let's get this old bumper off. And then we'll work on getting the new one installed. First things first, I have to take these shackles off. Now those aren't a perfect match. I didn't paint these. I actually ordered these, and these are the color they came in. When it's down here, it looks like a pretty close match, but if you go up to it, it's missing the glitter in it that makes the cyber orange actually the cool color that it is. But when it's separated by a little bit, it looks like a pretty close match. These covers, to take the bumper off, the bolts are all behind these covers. They did a great job, I think, with this plastic, because it looks, you can't tell that that's actually not the same material as the rest of the bumper looking at it. This is actually just a plastic piece that's on there. Now here's just some little pins, plastic pins. Pull them out, and then you can pull the whole thing out. And I think it's 4 of them on each one. And it's just a couple plastic pins on the back, but do the same thing on the other one. And now should just be take these 6 bolts off. And it should just come off. Alright, now that we got the winch plate on there, we can start getting our winch set up. The first thing is we got the fair lead. We are using a synthetic rope line. We got a washer and a lock washer, and then a nut on the back. If you had active cruise control, this would be an issue sitting the winch right here, because that's going to be blocking it for sure. But BodyGuard does have a relocation bracket for the bumper, if that is the case for you. Well, apparently I wasn't recording there, but just set the winch into place. Put the line through the fair lead, set it down. I mean, it fits in here good. It does block this lower intercooler that we will see, and it looks like the holes line up great. We got the power line. I gotta grab the ground wire and figure out where that attaches before I put the bolts in and tighten this down, just to make sure I don't have to come back and undo it. But yes, this is the Warn VR Evo 10S. So it's 10,000 pounds, synthetic line. The ground cable does come separately, not attached. The power is already attached. Not sure why the ground isn't, but looks like, now that's going to get attached back here. Alright, so I just got the wires routed back through and then up. I have it connected to the battery. I haven't actually tightened it down or anything. I just want to make sure that we are good before going any further. And that just pops open. Plug our controller in here. Looks like we've got power. Looks like we've got ourselves a working winch. I'm going to go ahead and finish routing these wires the best I can in here, then go ahead and hook them up permanently. Just going straight to the battery with the big ground and the big power cable. So get those, and then the 4 bolts go underneath the mount and mount that down, and then we'll be ready to put the rest of the bumper on. Alright, so we got the bottom 4 bolts tightened down, 35 foot-pounds. Before we continue, I do have got a flat shackle from Factor 55, and it's held in there with this pin that goes through, and then it's got a snap ring that locks it in. So it's not something that's very easy for somebody to just come and take off your vehicle. It's pretty solid pin there. That's not going anywhere. And then let's grab your snap ring pliers. So it's rubberized on the back. We've got this rubberized padding on both sides, so you're actually putting this rubber up against the fair lead, so you're not messing up your fair lead, you're not messing up your hook, and it lays flat instead of having to run your hook to somewhere to keep everything tight. So I like that. For now, that definitely works. It does the trick. And I think we're ready to put the rest of the bumper on there now. Alright, so the bumper just sits on there. We got 2 bolts in on the front here. Alright, so I can get this pushed up in position and try to get it snugged. We're a little lower on this side. Now this bumper has provisions for the front bumper sensors. I do not have front bumper sensors, or working ones at least, but I knew these had the holes for it. I'm sure they probably can provide you like little blank off plates if asked for it, but I just went ahead and bought some used sensors that will fit in there, so it'll look like it's got sensors. They won't actually be hooked up to anything. So it will have the front sensors on there. As far as it looks, they're not going to be connected. I'm not trying to pretend I have a higher level trim than I do. It's just that I didn't want to leave those empty circles on the bumper. I think it would look a little weird, so just putting the sensors in there to fill that up and make that look good. But yeah, just go through putting all the clips in. Before we put the front panel on, it's got 2 sensors on it, and just like on the rear bumper, the sensor will go in there, and you put a nut in there in a little plate, and it'll put pressure on it from behind and keep it snug in there. So I got some for that. They won't be functional, but it is what it is. Now that we got the bolts tightened, we got that on there, and now that I got this all open, one lesson I didn't learn when I did the rear bumper is to go ahead and put these extensions on, but there's a lot easier, much easier access with these front bumpers to get those on. So I'll do that now, get those extensions on, then we'll start putting the ends in. Like I said, we have the mounts for 2 pod lights on here. I'm waiting on those 2 pod lights to come in still. So these will be kind of empty until we get those lights in. Let me go ahead, get these ready, and we'll put these extensions on. If you're going with the fender delete, then I would leave the extensions off. And well, there we go. We got this end on there, which is much easier than the rear one, since you can reach through here and access everything. Just get in there and snug that down, and we'll move along. Alright, so like the front, or like the rear, the sensors are just gonna slide in like so. We got a little bracket. It's gonna slide in there with it. And then we have one of the nuts, and just gonna, or bolts. We got the light pod that's going to be behind there, and then the sensor would be on the outside of that. Get everything lined up here. So there we go. We're going to be a little empty right here, like I said, until our lights come in. We'll have the 2 pod lights there to fill up that space. Do the same thing on the other side. And then I think before we put this front plate in, we're supposed to put the bash plate on. Alright, so here we have the difference in the bash plates. The stock wood comes out wider. This one, the BodyGuard one, is much thinner, or skinnier. Material wise, it's not thinner. It's probably about twice the thickness of the OEM one. But we might lose a little bit of approach angle right in the very front with how the bumper sticks out, but it's pretty high up and it's narrower from left to right, so there's less area here. So if we're approaching it from an angle, we've got so much more clearance. I mean, we've got almost the whole tire exposed on the front, to where, you know, if we come at an angle to anything, you know, our approach angle has increased tremendously. So I think we might lose a little bit right in the center with this bumper, just because of how far it sticks out, but it is pretty far up where it sticks out, and we gain so much more on the sides that if we just come in an angle from anything, we should have more than enough clearance, more than stock, more than what we had with that. So yeah, I think that's going to work out good. I'll go ahead and get this bash plate on here, or maybe I'll start in front. Make sure. So this plate's in place, just getting everything lined up. It is a beefy boy. That thing is thick. Like I said, it's a little bit skinnier this way, so it doesn't cover as much area in front of your wheels. So it gives you more approach angles from either side. Might lose a little bit just like right in here, coming direct approach, but coming from any angle, you got so much more room, so much more room to approach anything really. So let me get these. It's what I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these bolts across the front that are right into the bumper. The back two pieces just use the stock hardware and this same what do you want to call them? Same mounting points, the same mounting hardware as the stock or the OEM bash plate did. But yeah, so those are in. Do these 5 bolts, and then we put this last plate on here. All right, so the last thing we have is just this front piece. Again, if you had front sensors, they'd be installed here, so you'd want to make sure you connected the wiring harnesses if you had them. And then once they are connected, this will just go on here. Just a bunch of screws to push, hold this into place. The front plate on, it kind of cleans up everything on the front bumper. The front bumper is installed. I think it's looking awesome. Back up a little bit, get a better look. Actually, I'll pull it out in the light and we can take a better look at it. But that's installed. It's great. I love it. It'll look a little bit better when these front holes are filled in with our pod lights once they come. Now, I don't have a front license plate on here. It's not required in Indiana. If you do happen to live in a state that requires a front license plate, BodyGuard's got you covered. They have this little gizmo here, and it would mount right to the front using your Fairlead bolts, and you would put your license plate on here, and it would actually just flip up when you're not in when you need to use your winch. Otherwise, other than that, you just flip it back down. Keep your front license plate, and then you're good to go. Luckily, we don't live in a state that requires one, so we could just leave that as is. So it is definitely a much more aggressive front end. I'm liking it. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Now, speaking of license plate, one thing I didn't mention on the rear bumper is, I relocated the license plate up here with the spare tire delete. You do not need to do the spare tire delete to relocate your rear tag. If you do go with the BodyGuard bumper, rear bumper, when you purchase it, they will include this plate here. So this is your spare tire holder. You'd have your spare tire on here, and then this plate would go right there. You would go ahead and mount that, and then you could put your license plate there. They include LED lights with the kit as well, so you can put some lights to shine on your license plate, the same as you did with the spare tire delete. But yeah, you could keep your spare tire and use the BodyGuard rear bumper. You don't have to use the spare tire delete. Just wanted to point that out because I didn't want you to think that, oh, well, the only way you could use that bumper is if you fab something yourself or you use their spare tire delete. That's not the case. They give you everything you need to where if you want to go with this bumper and keep your spare, you just put the bracket up here to hold your plate on your spare tire. Here's a quick walk around everything we've got. It's looking more aggressive. Got the BodyGuard rock slides, BodyGuard rear bumper, rear spare tire delete, and we got the front bumper with winch mount and the Warn winch installed. This thing's looking good, I think. Let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? Are you liking this look? You prefer the stock look better? I have a bunch of stock parts here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Probably going to put them up for sale. So if you're interested in a modular bumper or rear bumper or stock rock slides or stock yeah, the front bumper would come, the modular bumper would come with the skid plate with it. But yeah, if you're interested in any of those, let me know. My email and my contact information is always down in the description. I have my email down there. But if anybody is interested in those, let me know. I'm sure we could work out a deal or something. I don't necessarily need to hold them. Also got the original Black Diamond wheels, the black steelies, and the 32-inch wheels that came with it. The what are they called? The grabbers, the general grabbers, and the 32-inch general grabbers on the black steelies. I have those. I'm probably going to put those up for sale too. I was going to keep them as a backup set of tires, wheels and tires, but since I already have another new pair, this new set here is going to become my backup set, and I'm probably going to go ahead and sell those. So if you're interested in any of those things, let me know. My contact information is normally down in the description. Send me an email or shoot me a DM over on Instagram, which is Evil Truck as well, over there. Which, if you don't follow me, you should follow me over there. Yeah, but anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know. Leave a comment down in the description. Let me know what you think about the BodyGuard bumpers and everything. So far, I think they look aggressive. They definitely look aggressive. They are well built. We'll see how well they hold up over time. I'm not going to abuse anything just yet because I don't want to scratch anything. I don't want to mess anything up before SEMA. I don't think they would appreciate that too much, them sending me this out. So I do want to say thank you to BodyGuard for sending me all this out, and for working with Scoop SMG, getting me connected with them to get all this stuff set out, as well as everything else that's being sent. So we will continue this build and when the next set of parts come in. So I will see you then.